Assalamualaikum and a very good day. I am Aina Nabilah binti Jalani, and today I will be presenting my self-reflection based on my 13-week teaching practicum and internship experience at MK Putrajaya Precinct 61. So my presentation will cover the introduction, teaching and learning curriculum, social interaction, other methods, recommendations, and summary. So I began my teaching internship on the 24th of March 2025, and it is scheduled to end on the 25th of July 2025. So throughout this period, I have gone through an incredible journey that has transformed the way I view education, teaching, and even myself. So I was assigned to teach Form 1 and Form 2 students, one kindy and also two high top. So for this part, I'm going to talk about teaching and learning. When it comes to lesson preparation, I followed a clear and organized method that helped me deliver lessons that match the curriculum and suit my students' need. I always pick topics that were part of the syllabus, but also I twist it, make it fun and relatable. For example, when teaching the team all about me, I use engaging activities like stand up if and writing about things they like to get them engaged. Then I selected the suitable method to teach the specific skill. For grammar lessons, I often use games like bingo, charades. For literature, I use pictures, real objects, and simple drama activities. For writing, I create step-by-step tasks like using mind maps and writing block draft. Then I plan the flow of the lessons, the start induction, the lesson development, and closure. I make sure that every part page the lesson goal and the lesson objective and success criteria. So this step by step helped me confident in every lesson, knowing that I had a plan to teach, engage, check, understanding, and support my students from start to finish. So during my practicum, I learned a lot about what makes a lesson more effective and engaging. One of the most important thing I discovered is the power of a strong set induction. So when I start a lesson with something fun or surprising like beach ball to introduce holidays or a broken balloons for the poem set IS, my students become more curious and excited to learn. I also found that using visuals and realia really help, especially for students with lower proficiency. It made difficult topics easier to understand and help them, connect with the lesson emotionally. For grammar, I use games like bingo, charades, hangman, make learning more fun. Students were more focused and enjoyed the lesson when it felt like a game. And in literature, I use creative tasks like role play, guessing game based on poem stanzas. So this activity helps students think more deeply about the meaning instead of just memorizing the lines. I also noticed that group work like making poster or acting out poems build confidence. Even shy students join in more when they had support from their friends. Finally, also the importance of good lesson closure. Ending with reflections, questions, a quick review, or a discussion on moral values help wrap up the lesson and give students a sense of success. So over the 13 weeks, I learned many practical things that helped me become a better teacher. I learned how to support students with different proficiency levels in grammar lessons. I use simple instruction, visuals, and broke tasks into a clear steps. I also use pair and group work so students could help each other. I also got better at lesson planning, especially in designing activities for reading, listening, speaking, and writing. I use fun tasks like role plays, per interview, poster presentation, and gallery works to make learning more meaningful and interesting. Lastly, I become more aware of time management. Sometimes the lessons were shortened because of school events. I learned how to adjust quickly, use the timer, and plan clear lesson stages to stay on track. So throughout my practicum, I encountered several challenges. The first major challenges was time management. There were days when I had multiple duties, lesson changes, overlapping school events. So I overcome prioritizing a core lesson objective and planning lessons in flexible stages. So I could skip or shorten tasks if needed without affecting the learning goal. Secondly, I faced resources constraints. So my classroom didn't have a smart TV or media display tools like Imago TV like the other classes. So I had to be resourceful. I used the whiteboard more creatively, made manual visual aids, printed out images to keep lesson visuals and engaging. The third challenge was the student engagement. Not all students were easily motivated, especially in grammar or reading class. I overcome this by including more pair and group activities, using games like bingo, and designing lessons that were relatable, like letting them talk about things they like, about their favorite food, about favorite idol. Yeah. And then looking back at my practicum, what mattered most wasn't just finish my lessons, but what I learned from that. So first, I learned that it's important to adapt my teaching based on student feedback. Sometimes an activity that I thought would work didn't really engage them. By observing their reaction, their facial expressions, listening to their responses, I could improve my lesson to better fit their needs. Second, I realized that classroom management isn't just about keeping the class quiet. It's about making sure students stay focused and follow each stage of lessons smoothly. I use clear instructions and simple routines to help manage transitions and attention. And lastly, I learned the value of collaboration and learning from others. I often, share ideas and discuss challenges with other practical teachers and also with the experienced teachers. So these small conversations helped me improve my teaching and gave me new ideas I had not thought of before. The next one is about co-curricular activities. So these are my co-curricular units. First, I was part of the Persatuan Pengangkat Malaysia, or the Sports Association of Malaysia. So I was involved in marching training and rehearsal sessions where I guided and supervised students. I also assisted in the preparation for the state level marching competitions since Pengangkat won the marching competition during the school event. I helped to ensure the students were disciplined, synchronized, and confident. And additionally, I supervise students during the weekly SCOT meetings, ensuring attendance and supporting teacher in managing activities. Secondly, I was assigned to the grooming and makeup club. However, I wasn't actually able to fully take part in the club activities because I think all of the meetings clash with school programs where all clubs had to gather in the school hall. So my job most of the time is to take attendance, photos, and keep records of student participation for official documentation. So for sports, I was part of the badminton unit, which held training sessions every Friday from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. So I support the coach by observe and help to assist the students. So I was also part of the Yale House, also known as Rumah Zura, and it was one of the most meaningful experience I had during my practicum. So I led the Suewang traditional dance performance for the sport day opening, help with marching practices, and support with other duties like logistics and student management on event day. And I am proud to share that Rumah Zura won first place overall during sport day. The next one is social interactions. So throughout my practicum, I had the opportunity to interact with various members of the school community. So my interaction with administrations was quite limited actually. Usually when I needed to request signatures for printing teaching materials. So even though it was brief, I always try to be respectful and clear. And also I communicate often with my guidance teacher, especially when asking for lesson plan feedback. I check in with her weekly to make sure my plans follow the scheme of work SOW and match the students' level. Her advice really helped me improve. And I also talk to the other teachers, especially when I need help with materials or managing mixed proficiency classes. So they always there, they are always friendly and give helpful suggestions. And one of the most supportive group, of course, was the practical teachers. So we often share ideas, help each other with teaching aids, and work together for school events. I also built a good connection with my students, not only during lessons, but also during school programs and co-curricular activities. I listen to them, support them, and celebrate their small achievements. And lastly, I interact with school staff like the security guards and also the camping workers. So even a small greeting or polite conversation made me feel like part of the school community. The next one is about the other methods. So one of the most exciting was English Explorers Day, which I helped organize with 5 other English practical teachers from KN and also OPSI. So we planned activities, designed posters, prepared materials, and run fun English station game for nearly 300 Form 2 students. I also worked as one of the MCs. So the whole day was full of energy and teamwork, and it was one of the best days and also tiring days of our practical. So for Teachers' Day, the atmosphere was colorful and festive. Teachers were divided into groups with different custom themes. My group theme was career professional, team ambition, and I dressed up as lawyer, wearing blazer and name tag. And all the practical also for the practicum teacher girls also made a video called Life as a Practicum Teacher. It was shown during the celebration and it felt so nice, to see students, other teachers laughing, clapping, and cheering while watching it. And lastly, I was involved in the state level English debate competition hosted by our school. So the early rounds were held at Complex Kejurana Precinct 16, which is in front of our school, and the final round was in our school hall. So there are a total of 10 schools joined, but unfortunately, our school didn't win any numbers. So I was part of the organizing team and worked as an usher. I also helped collect the scores after each debate. So it was actually my first time watching a formal debate, and I was really amazed by how confident and smart the students were. Next one is recommendations. So before I end, I had like offer some suggestions, maybe for the future practicum teacher based on what I have learned. First, I always Yes, I always prepare flexible lesson plans. School schedules can change suddenly, so be ready to adapt your activities without losing the main learning objective. Second, communicate openly with your mentor, teacher, and school staff, whether it's about your lesson plan, classroom management, even duties. Clear communication will help avoid misunderstanding. Third, don't wait to be told. Take initiative. So volunteers to help with events, clubs, and duties. You will build trust with staff and get to experience more of what school life is really like. Number four, make time to reflect after each lesson. Even just 5 minutes to think about what worked and what didn't can make a big difference over time. Fifth, collaborate with your fellow practical teachers. Teaching is tough, and having someone to brainstorm with or even just vent can actually really help. And finally, don't aim for perfection, aim for progress. Every class, every week, every mistake is a chance to grow. And the last part is summary. So to conclude, this practicum has been one of the most important experiences in my teacher training journey. I have gained practical skills in lesson planning, classroom management, student engagement, and school involvement. I have learned that teaching is not just about delivering content. It's about building connections, being creative, and staying flexible when things don't go as planned. I am truly grateful for all of the opportunities, challenges, and even stressful moments because they push me to become more patient, more reflective, and more resilient. So this practical has strengthened my confidence and helped me find joy in guiding and supporting students, not just as learners, but also as individuals. So with that, I look forward to growing even more as dedicated, compassionate, and reflective educator. So that is all for my presentation. Thank you so much.